first call to the public. So if anyone has anything to say, we just limit it to 3 minutes per speaker. So if we could have your name and your address for the record too.
He's not speaking.
Oh, okay.
He's getting it.
Sorry, I thought you were speaking.
Sorry.
No, it's all right. Anyone speaking? First call to the public? Okay. So we'll move to our agenda items. Can I get a motion to approve the replacement of one sheriff road patrol duty not to exceed step 1?
I will make that motion.
Any discussion?
Well, you have to support it or something.
Oh, okay, I'll support it. I'll support it.
Oh, Brad just arrived. So we had one sheriff's deputy leave to take a position up north, and this is just seeking to replace that budgeted position.
Okay. Any questions for the discussion?
No.
Okay. So moving on, I need
You have to.
a motion to approve. We have to vote on that. I mean, it's just a vote. Can we call a roll call vote on that? Yeah.
All those in favor?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. Need a motion to approve the replacement of one executive assistant for pretrial services at a grade 4.
So moved.
Support.
All right, any discussion?
The replacement of a budget position, this person left the workforce to do something different.
Okay.
And our pretrial services director is Mark Durfee. He's the one that was getting the agenda. He's on later for another item.
Okay. Any further questions or discussion on that? Can we get a voice vote on that? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. I need a motion to approve the replacement of a juvenile caseworker at a grade 7.
So moved.
Support.
Discussion?
This person is a position that we have, and they left for a different position somewhere else, and we're seeking to fill this budgeted position.
Does anyone have any questions, any numbers or questions?
Seems to be a trend.
Yeah, right. Just kind of moving on.
We are the feeder. We train them, they get experience, and they move on to other places.
All right, so can I get a voice vote? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Can I get a motion to approve the filling of a part-time to not exceed 20 hours a week probate guardian ad litem position?
Moved.
Support.
This one's slightly different. This has been a contracted position done by a retired attorney, and we'd like to bring this in to do, it does not have to be an attorney to do it. We also have an attorney shortage, so this would be a 20-hour position a week at a grade 4 to do guardian ad litem work. We do get a fee that comes in every year from this that will help offset that as opposed to the contract expense of an attorney. Currently it is last year we made $12,000 just in the fees from new guardian ad litems that were open. And Judge Dignan is here with us tonight, and this person would be on his side of the aisle upstairs, because these are probate positions, not part of family.
Just to clarify, last year, the figure's correct, but it wasn't the county that made $12,000 because the county didn't pay it. We assessed the people and we took in $12,000 just in initial petitions. That doesn't include petitions to modify the guardianship or things like that. But we just, my predecessor had a stable of retired bankers and financial advisors that could do it, and unfortunately they no longer exist. But I think the point is, we're still going to be collecting the fee. But if you fund the position, it'll go to the county.
As opposed to pass through.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, and it seems reasonable to not use up our limited attorney resources on something that doesn't have to be done by an attorney. So.
Any further discussion or questions on that? Do I need a roll call vote on this?
Nope, just
Or-
all.
Okay,
All
so
the committee votes can be by voice.
all of them can be by voice. Okay, so all right. And can I get a voice a vote on that? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. I need a motion to approve the filling of an IT position for central dispatch at a grade 12.
Moved.
Support.
Now this is a new position, but remember this comes from the 911 surcharge. It is not part of the general fund budget. So in addition to some of the all the tech work that we have through the RESD, The 911 feels they are in need of some additional support on specialized 911 related equipment, such as vehicle locators, some communications device work and other things of that nature. And this would come through their budget. It would be a grade 12 for an IT person. That does not alleviate or change our work with the RESD, nor does it alleviate them from paying 911 from paying their portion of the RESD contract. This is for some enhanced support for them. This has gone through the 911 board. They have approved it. The sheriff and myself, along with the 911 director, have met to go over the position and the description and the necessary duties. Angie Norling and the sheriff are here tonight if they'd like to say anything.
I did bring some copies. I don't know about some of the issues that we're having, just to kind of get more of a visual, so you can kind of see what I'm looking at, the things that I wanted to improve, as well as the sheriff and deputy director.
And if I could add, Josh.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
I've sat on the 911 board now, I don't know, 12, 14 years, something like that. It's been a while, but I was a bit skeptical and had a lot of questions when this first came up. I was very surprised to learn all that is involved in it. So I would say that the 911 board had a lot of discussion on it.
Okay.
And that board is made up of police chiefs, fire chiefs, people in emergency service positions. And it was well vetted.
Very good. That's very good.
So some of our main issues, like major concerns that we have as administrators is our CAD system, which is our computer-aided dispatch system. It's like the main hub for the county. It's where we track all the 911 calls and the different incidents that happen within the county. This also works in the patrol cars where they can see the call information, the location, the notes that we add as dispatchers. It's also attached to AVLs, which is automatic vehicle locators, which is used in the sheriff road patrol cars so we can see their locations. So I just went through and I made some copies of some issues that we're seeing so you can see some of the issues that we're coming against. So the first page right here, the intersection of M21 and Caledonia Drive, which is the road that Pleasant View is back on, that no longer verifies in our CAD system. So when I say it doesn't verify, it doesn't like geolocate, so we don't know who the responding police, fire, or EMS agency is. Now most of us do know that because we've been here a while, but for new people, it's challenging when they're trying to learn the different jurisdictions and where everything is. So the next page, the intersection of M21 and State Road here in Corona. The southwest corner of that intersection should be the jurisdiction of the Corona city limits. So like you have McDonald's right there, Little Caesars, all those little stores in that plaza, that should be the city of Corona, and it shows that it's a county call for police instead of Corona PD. The next is, this is a random address on Meridian Road, which is our bordering road with Clinton County. And it no longer shows the appropriate police or EMS agency. Or on this far left side, or I'm sorry, far right side of the page, it says beat fire station and EMS station. It should tell you right there whose jurisdiction those are, and it doesn't say that. And that goes for a lot of addresses along Meridian Road. Basically, our mapping system needs to be completely cut out and start over. Same thing for M13 and 69, that's our border with Genesee County. Same thing, does not show any jurisdiction for law enforcement, fire, or EMS. And this specific address, it's our CAD sheet, and then this is the GIS page from the county website. This is an address that's in Middlebury Township. Again, it doesn't geo-verify, so it doesn't even zoom in on the map, so we have no idea where this address is. So we have to find it on the GIS map through the county, and again, it doesn't show any police, fire, or EMS jurisdiction. South Street and Shiawassee Street in the city of Owasso, which is the main intersection, is on the southern border of the city limits there. That no longer geo-verifies, doesn't show any police, fire, EMS like the rest. The next one, Easton and M13, same thing, doesn't show what law enforcement agency or fire department. Pages are sticking together here. And this next one, this is an issue that we've been having since February. So this little C that's in the middle of that map there, when someone calls 911, that shows where the caller is located. It's a phase 2 location. So we're supposed to be able to look at our map and be able to see where the caller is. For whatever reason, this map isn't working properly. It's whiting out, it's graying out. We have to refresh it constantly, zoom in or zoom out to get our map to come back up. Which again makes it tedious for the dispatchers when they're trying to deal with an emergency situation and they can't see where the caller's at. This is what it's supposed to look like. You can see the caller's on M21 right there. That's what it's supposed to look like, so we can see where they're at. And again, with our map, when you put in an address, you should have a pretty good idea. It should be able to lead you right to the front door of the house. That's where technology is, and that's where we should be. But this is way off. It's pinging this address on Durand Road right down here, and it's actually way up here. And this is another one that's extremely far off on the address. The address is 4160 South Durand Road. In our CAD system, it's pinging it way down here on the south side of the Durand city limits. This address is actually north of I-69, which is very,
That's a problem.
that's a far distance.
And far distance impeded by several railroad tracks.
Yeah, just a few stops.
Yeah.
No, I love this, and I thank you for Commissioner Garber for mentioning that there's been so much work put into this. I mean, if we can type it into our phones where to go, you at an emergency service should have at least that, if not better. So
Yeah.
definitely, it's a good effort on the part of your team and everyone involved. So.
And I'd like to add, like, there's neighboring counties. Clinton County and Livingston County has the same CAD system that we have, and we've looked at it, we've gone over and we've visited with them, and the things that their CAD system can do compared to ours is like night and day. Like, we're paying $90,000 a year for the system, and it's not being utilized the way it should, or maintained the way it should be. So, if there's any other questions, or Sheriff, if you'd like to add.
I just want to make it clear that we are not unhappy with RESD. We have a contract with them. We need 24-hour service for 911. And the mapping system is the most important part. If we don't know where our people are, our deputies, emergency personnel, firefighters, it benefits everyone. And I have called all over the state. Every 911 agency has an IT person strictly designated for 911. And plus, this will benefit not only, it'll benefit everyone in the county. All of our police, all of our fire, all of our EMS. I think it's very important. But I also like RESD. We work closely with them. So I think this is we're gonna need RESD when this guy's off on vacation or sick or whatever. So I think it's gonna be a good partnership, and it's very much needed. Thank you, guys.
Any further discussion on that? Or
We see this as a part-time or a temporary position, or like a long-running into the future, it will constantly need updates?
I'm hoping to be a little back. We used to have a systems administrator with the Sheriff's Department, and that kind of got dissolved when we moved and different things happened, and we've tried different IT routes, and so I feel like it's going to be Be full-time?
I hope-
position?
Yes, I hope it's full-time and, like I said, there's always something,
Yeah.
always something.
Okay.
We did make it non-unionized, because we
Yeah.
kinda wanna use it as like a trial basis, see how things go, and so on and so forth, but my goal is to have it be a permanent position.
As part of that, Eric and myself will be developing a contract for that position, so that will not be the same as a regular employee.
Is there a need for additional dispatchers in the county, do you feel, or do you have some?
Angie can,
I feel like we're in pretty good standing right now as far as staffing goes. We're approved for 12, we have 11. Nighttime, I feel like we've been pretty slow lately, so I feel like we're sitting pretty good where we're at as far as employment. If we do, it's probably gonna be maybe one more, so.
So we're going to do a voice vote then, if there's no further discussion. Can I get a vote on this item? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes, all right. So I need a motion for the approval of resolution 250506 for submission of the Community Corrections Grant and allow the CCAB to take necessary steps for submission.
So moved.
Support.
All right. Any discussion?
So very briefly, this is a renewal of our grant. This past year was the first year that we had it. The grant goes to provide what's called pre-trial services. So these are services that go to individuals from the time that they are arraigned until the case is finally adjudicated or disposed of. There are certain people that go on it that are not necessarily, or they should not necessarily be in jail, but they should not necessarily be out and unmonitored. It's an alternative to incarceration. And our director oversees that and does different systems, including check-ins, ankle monitors, different things like that as part of pretrial services, and does risk assessments that gives the judges additional tools as they are preparing to make determinations on bond and bond amounts and whether they should be released, and if so, what provisions based on prior criminal history that they have had. At some point, this is likely to become required. At the moment, the state is willing to pay for it, and so I think it's advantageous for us to take advantage of the state's offer to continue to fund it, as opposed to trying to fund it ourselves when it becomes required.
Makes sense. Any discussion?
Yes.
Oh,
I'm not necessarily opposed to this program, but I feel like we just continue to add more government, more positions, more, and I get that the state is willing to pay for it, but that's still our money.
Well, your money will go to another county if you don't take advantage of it.
I know that I would like my money to not go to criminals and their hand-holding and their issues that, you know, if you just don't do stupid stuff, wouldn't happen. That's what I would like.
That's a great philosophical position, but it is not reality.
Thank you.
And because of that, I mean, it will become required and it will have to be paid for at some point. And if it has to be paid for at some point, because it can't be part of the courts, it would have to come out of the sheriff's budget, which means that you would lose some amount of road patrol in order to fund it when it becomes required.
So an unfunded mandate is
That
what
is
you're-
correct. And at this point, they're funded.
so when it becomes required, if we pass this now, will
We'll
it
keep getting some
remain?
money. Well, we still want to keep getting the money from the
Oh,
state.
right, but it's better to pass it than wait until they,
Yeah, because they
Required.
have the program set.
okay. Any further discussion? Okay, let's do a voice vote on this. All those in favor of this, motion?
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, motion passes. Last one here, can I get a approval for the, a motion for the approval of the integration agreement, part 1, between Shiawassee County and Michigan's Public Safety Communication System?
So moved.
Support.
It's a convoluted motion.
It is a little bit, I was.
And what it is we assign the rights of the tower to the state. And now that we have one tower right now, and then we will, that's why it says part one. In a little while, when part two, we will have our second tower online. And what this does is the state takes over the tower. They pay for the technology, they pay for the maintenance, they oversee it. This is a renewal of this agreement with them. But they can also use the tower as part of the communications. So, do you add anything to that?
Well, it's pretty perfectly well said. That's just basically agreement, how everything all ties together, who's responsible for what, and how it kind of works, so, but yeah.
With allowing the state to piggyback on the system and us not having to pay for upgrades and changes, it allows more money to be spent in 911 instead of on having to repair the equipment.
Correct. And the state's monitoring the tower 24/7, so if there's an issue, they're seeing that and they're getting people out to take care of the issue. And it's something that we don't have to worry about as a county.
And in terms of not having to, obviously this takes some stress off us financially, but also, I mean, does it change anything about what we're required to do, any kind of new, that's what, yeah. that would
This
be
is a renewal we've already been doing.
Okay, yep, that's what I figured. Okay, any discussion or questions about that at all? All right, going to a voice vote, can I get a vote for disapproval? Anyone, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes. Okay, so we head to the second call to the public, again limited to 3 minutes per speaker. Does anyone have any comments? All right, hearing none, the Shiawassee County Public Safety and Courts Committee is adjourned.
Let's call the meeting of Health and Human Services Committee to order. If we could stand for the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. First call to the public. Anybody for Health and Human Services? Seeing none, I am going to add an agenda item just for discussion, which will be item C, and that is a resolution by St. Clair County's Health Department. And again, it's only for discussion. So I would look for a motion to approve the proposed Materials Management Committee bylaws as presented.
I move.
I will support. So moved and supported.
So very briefly, the Materials Management Committee had to create bylaws as part of the state requirements. Eric and myself reviewed those ahead of time, made a couple of recommendations on changes. I went to the meeting and presented to the group with Larry on the changes. They accepted them as is, and now the Board of Commissioners will need to approve them.
And then we get our money, or do we have money, we don't know.
We haven't gotten it yet, but this is the step towards that.
Okay.
The work program's been approved, so that's the next step to getting some money. So,
So do the steps keep moving or,
well, right now, that was the step, was to get the work program adopted by the Materials Management Board and then submitted to Eagle. And Eagle had to review it, which they did, and now they've approved it. So the next step is they create a template for us to submit for reimbursement. It's a reimbursement grant. And we've got some expenses to be reimbursed for. So now it's just with the finance people. But we're moving forward, and then once that funding is activated, then we continue with the development of the plan. And that's gonna be over a period of months and even longer.
and my understanding was that we weren't gonna move forward with that piece of it until we got the money.
Correct.
No money in play.
Thank you. That's what I was looking
Very simple.
for. Okay.
We're not expending any, if it's a state thing, they've agreed to pay for it, we are not expending any resources on it besides the bare minimum until they pay.
And we still have a lot of time.
Well, and I'm still hopeful that our change in legislature will maybe pull back some of that funding, but, or at least maybe right-size it to,
Pulling back the funding without the requirement would be, and still leave the requirement would be very bad for us.
well, I meant just pull back altogether. Because I think it's really silly for some of our small, I mean, to call Owasso a city at 10,000 people, really, I mean, that's
15.
15.
Hey.
So, in any case, any other discussion, Gary, got anything on this? No. All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
All right, that moves forward. Our second agenda item is, I would look for a motion to approve the appointment of Jerry Haber to the Community Mental Health Board.
I'll make a motion. I'll support.
Moved and supported. Since it was my idea, I fully support this.
It's been cleared by the chair of community mental health and the board chair. We are removing the second person on that list at the moment, but we're just doing the first.
Yeah, we were unclear on how many people that serve as elected officials, so it kind of limits us, unfortunately, because we did have some other really, really good people that were interested, so.
So I missed who seconded that.
Gary.
Okay.
Gary, yeah.
So,
Jerry's a great guy.
yeah, so, I mean, great addition.
Very trusted, yeah.
Anything else? All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed the same, and we'll see that again tomorrow. My last item, I gave you guys a packet. It was brought to my attention by Livingston County. It's something they are looking to do, and essentially it's tasking the health department with pointing out some of the health risks of solar developments. So if anyone else wants that information, I have it available. I sent over the resolution to Larry a little bit earlier in the day so that he, wouldn't be put on the spot. He was not aware of this. I'm not a big fan of resolutions as such, but there's a lot more there than just the resolutions.
I can have Morgan send it to the entire board.
Yeah, it's certainly worth looking at, and if you have people in your districts that have an interest in this, I think it would be good to pass along. So I felt I would be remiss if I didn't bring it to our attention. I don't know how many health boards will take this up, but
Well, my district would certainly be interested, so quite a few of the constituents I have would be interested in hearing about that, so.
yeah, and it gives,
After reviewing it too.
yeah, there's a lot of good information there. So for what it's worth, I just wanted to pass it along.
Would be a
Yeah.
resolution.
No, this is just informational. Larry needs to review it and see what he can do or not do, and then take it through the health board, or the board needs to take it up. But I will have Morgan send it out to everyone, you guys can review, and if there's interest, we can put it on the agenda for next month or something like that.
Yep, just kind of an FYI, so.
And they passed it in January, wasn't it? Did it in January they moved? When I remember, it was January 8th, but that was.
Yeah.
Well, that was the health department.
Yeah,
So it's been a while.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wasn't aware of it until recently because Livingston County is now looking at it. So, and I'm there on Tuesdays, and it was brought to my attention, so.
Like Illinois is too, so,
Okay,
same concept.
right, so might be something that we're interested in, and then again, it might not be, so. All right, anything else to come before the committee? All right, then we are adjourned. Thank you.
Forgot to set, oh, public.
We don't have any